Welcome to this unbelievable, indescribable, and amazing festive in the mix Halloween show. I'm your host, Gina Jordan, here at Ripley's Believe It or Not in Times Square, New York City. And coming up on this festive episode,
it's such an amazing restaurant.
Messing, Keys, Campbell, and Holmes. Several starlets hit the invite-only black tie opening night gala for Tao downtown, yet it was an upcoming model turned actress that created the biggest buzz on the red carpet. And after spending 15 years in one of the most successful rock bands in the world, Brandon Boyd of Incubus takes a giant leap into his solo career while releasing his third book. Brandon Boyd is ITM's Author of the Week. Plus, she's a New York City singer-songwriter that's open for Bon Jovi and Billy Idol. Now, her latest collaboration is generating big buzz. Meet ITM's Artist of the Week, Queen V. That's all coming up right now. You are in the moment. You are in the mix at Ripley's Believe It or Not in Times Square. In the mix with Chris Rock.
I'm Alec Baldwin. I'm here with the gorgeous Gina.
I'm Larry King, and you're watching In the Mix.
I'm Kelly Ripa, and you're watching In the Mix.
I'm Matt Lauer, and you're watching In the Mix.
I'm Kathy Lee. And I'm Hoda. And you're watching In the Mix.
I'm Bethany Frankel, and you're watching In the Mix.
In the Mix.
Welcome, my pretties, to this festive episode of In the Mix. It's our Halloween show here in Times Square at Ripley's Believe It or Not. I'm your host, Gina Jordan, aka the Queen of the Damned. What do you guys think of my costume today? Now, everybody here was asked to dress up on set. Now, last year at this time, New Yorkers in particular weren't able to celebrate Halloween thanks to Hurricane Sandy. So in honor of New Yorkers and in honor of the spirit of Halloween, get on out there today and put a costume on and celebrate. Right now, In the Mix is surrounded by more than 500 different artifacts all over the auditorium here at Ripley's Believe It or Not in Times Square. What better way to get festive on Halloween? We're sitting here with Anna Chu, who's a representative of the museum here at Ripley's Believe It or Not. Hello, Anna.
Hello, welcome to Ripley's.
Tell us how Ripley's in New York City came about.
Ripley's exhibit started all the way back in 1933 in Chicago, all from the ideas of the cartoons of Robert Ripley. We got a first permanent exhibit in Florida in 1950, and then 50 years later almost, we came to New York in 2007 in Times Square. We have over 20 themed galleries, so every room that you go into, it has its own feel, its own theme to it. There are, throughout the museum, well over 500 individual and unique artifacts for everyone to see.
Right now, we're in the torture chamber.
This room happens to be a really big favorite among a lot of our guests. Another big favorite for people is our famous black hole. It's a great illusion that makes you feel like you're spinning around in space.
What's right behind us? What is this incredible structure?
This large structure behind us is an Iron Maiden. All the way behind us, we actually have a real electric chair that was used in the execution of over 20 people.
Tell us, what is Ripley's doing special for Halloween today?
We actually have a great and delicious sundae going on with Serendipity 3 on 60th Street. It's the Ghoulicious and Skulltastic Sundae. Comes in a commemorative skull bowl that you get to keep, and when you purchase it, you get a buy one, get one ticket for Ripley's.
For the holiday season, I know you also said you had some stuff up and coming.
Well, we have one other holiday promotion that's going on through actually tomorrow. Kids that come dressed in costume between 4 and 7 p.m. with a paid grown-up get in for free, and we'll have trick-or-treat stations around the museum. And then coming up for the Christmas season, one of our favorite events to do, it's Mini Reverse Santa, where Santa sits on your lap.
Is Santa a big man?
Santa is a very small man. He's about 3.5 feet tall.
Wow. Guys, get on your costume and come on over to Ripley's today. A very special thanks to Ripley's and Anna Chu for being with us today, guys. Let's give her a big applause.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you, Anna. Okay, so now it's time to get down to business, shall we? In the Mix recently took a little field trip downtown to attend the opening night black tie gala for a Manhattan institution, Tao, which recently expanded to the downtown area. Now, several famous faces were all over the red carpet, yet it was one up-and-coming model that turned heads and created quite a buzz on the red carpet. Campbell, Holmes, Keys, Shields, Messing, and many more. A slew of famous faces piled into opening night at the new Tao downtown, complete with DJ Vice, geisha girls, and of course a Tao trademark, the larger-than-life Buddha.
Yes, I love it. It's super sexy, definitely needed. We're here in the Meatpacking District. It's amazing.
It's a great space, great location.
I love the restaurant. I think it's a fun vibe. It's always a fun night, and the food is always amazing.
I love it here. It's a good night, so I'm just here to celebrate.
I wanted to have a good time, and Tao always promises you that.
The Meatpacking District is just about to get a little hotter.
It's gonna be a good night. Noah and Jason, congratulations, you did it again.
For the past 15 years, Tao Uptown Restaurant and Lounge on 58th Street is best known for its Asian fusion cuisine and decor. In 2003, nightlife impresarios Jason Strauss and Noah Tepperberg joined Tao owners Mark Packer and Rich Wolf to open Tao Vegas.
We put our heart and soul in this to try to be relevant with the times and really come up with a dynamic design and experience that the world's never seen.
Now, Tao Downtown is born in the Meatpacking District on 16th Street and 9th Avenue, designed by architect David Rockwell.
It's the first room I've done where the stair is the main place you want to hang out. You know, people want to sit on a stair. Well, here there's about 100 people that can sit on the stair looking at the backdrop of the restaurant.
Music mogul Russell Simmons hit the carpet and told ITM he's also part owner of Tao Downtown.
I'm an investor.
So you own part of the place. You own some of the shares.
A little bit.
Simmons revealed his latest project is strictly online.
I think digital music is in. I mean, they're paying attention to what's digital, what's viral. The music is happening all online, and a lot of new, inspired artists who are emerging through digital.
Willing Grace, the starter wife and Smash star actress Debra Messing, attended the Tao opening night gala.
We're at Tao, and this is the big opening of the downtown restaurant, and you know, it's such an amazing restaurant, and I knew it was going to be a big celebration, and yet they would do it right, so that's why I'm here.
Messing, who recently wrapped up shooting the final season of Smash, is gearing up for a new role on The Great White Way.
I'm going to start rehearsal for a Broadway play soon, and it's called Outside Mullingar by John Patrick Shanley at the Manhattan Theater Club.
Now, all eyes were on the hottest couple of the evening, Miss Messing and her Smash co-star / boyfriend, Will Chase.
Have you ever been to the Tao Uptown?
I have not. My date has been, and it's one of his favorite places to go. And he was beside himself when I told him that we were invited to the opening of the downtown restaurant.
So what brought you and Miss Debra Messing out tonight to the opening of Tao?
I love me some Tao. I like me the Tao up at Four Seasons. So I don't know that she's ever been to Tao.
Chase, who starred on Broadway in Rent and played Michael Swift on Smash alongside Messing, told ITM, yes, it's official. Messing is his girlfriend.
Are you guys out tonight as an official couple? Is it like an out?
We've been together for a while.
Yeah. Okay, got it. And she's gorgeous.
We've been oot for a while.
The Kentucky native, who has 2 daughters, proved he's a Southern gentleman on and off screen.
You're not holding the purse yet, so you're good.
No, I'm not going to either. She's not going to let it go. She'll never let it go.
You refuse to hold the purse?
That's right.
Chase recently appeared on ABC's hit series Nashville.
Second season of Nashville, ABC. Big country star Luke Wheeler.
So you're like a Keith Urban.
Yeah, more like a Blake Shelton or maybe even a George Strait, a young George Strait.
My fellow Libra, singer-songwriter and actress Ashanti, who is gearing up to celebrate her birthday this month.
Our birthday's right around the corner.
Yes!
Miss Ashanti revealed some big news to ITM.
Big news. You have a new album coming out?
I have a new album. It's called Braveheart. I am so excited about this album. I was mastering like 2 days ago some of the records, and I'm just so excited. excited. Like, I love the sound of it, so I'm so happy.
I've been waiting for so long for this woman to come out with a new album.
Even though the red carpet was jam-packed with A-listers, there was one up-and-coming model who completely captivated fans and created a photo frenzy.
Hi, guys.
Meet Emily Ratajkowski. She's quickly becoming a fashion and Hollywood darling all in one.
I'm so happy to be here.
Emily recently appeared in the new ad campaign for Rag and Bone. Plus, you may recognize the 22-year-old British-born beauty from her music video appearances with Maroon 5, Love Somebody, and the latest, a scantily clad performance in Robin Thicke's Blurred Lines video. Emily, who was signed on to Ford Models at age 14, has been working as a catalog model since she was a teenager and recently starred in some lucrative commercials with Nikon and Carl's Jr. Yet, Emily's dream is to star on the big screen. She admits she's not worried about nudity and recently beat out Jennifer Lawrence in Esquire.com's first Woman of the Year award.
I'm about to shoot Gone Girl with David Fincher.
The budding actress told ITM she's been patiently waiting for the right project to come along, and it finally did. Emily was chosen to star in the upcoming film Gone Girl, directed by David Fincher.
What was it like to audition for that type of a part?
Oh, it was crazy. You know, I went into the room and I thought I was just going to see David Fincher, and Ben Affleck was there as well. So I spent an hour in there working and I got the part. So, yeah.
What was the audition like? What did they make you do? Did you have to read their lines?
I did. I basically ran scenes, so I had the lines memorized, and I'm excited to start filming.
Yeah. When do you start?
This month.
Gone Girl is expected to hit theaters in 2015. Still to come from Ripley's Times Square on our Halloween show. We've got some treats in store for you. We go one-on-one with In the Mix's Author of the Week, Incubus frontman Brandon Boyd. Plus, we've got ITM's Artist of the Week, Queen V. Don't move. In the Mix will be right back.
In the Mix.
Just point.
With nowhere to
Just speak.
to turn.
Just share.
You saw me
As you naturally would.
and showed me
Just
how
point.
much I still
Just speak.
have to learn.
Just share.
And the odds
Smart. Inspired by you. LG Cinema 3D Smart TV.
This episode of In the Mix is presented by LG. Life's good.
In the Mix.
Welcome back to this festive episode of In the Mix. It's our Halloween show coming at you from Ripley's Believe It or Not in Times Square. I'm your host, Gina Jordan, aka the Queen of the Damned. Now, everybody here at In the Mix wanted to help you get into the Halloween spirit. We hope that you dress up and come on down to Ripley's Believe It or Not later today. They're open till 1 a.m. Now, if you don't live in New York, you can log on to ripleys.com and go to one of the 34 locations worldwide. Now, next up, In the Mix recently took a little field trip to Barnes & Noble in Tribeca, where we attended a rare book signing session and met up with In the Mix's Author of the Week, Brandon Boyd. In the late 90s, singer-songwriter Brandon Boyd drove Incubus to the top of the charts with lyrics from hit songs like Drive and Pardon Me. Today, more than a decade later, Boyd is still going strong with a double release on his own label, a new solo LP, Sons of the Sea, and a book, Sow the Echo.
Baby, could we spend a month here tonight?
Boyd is a creative force. He's been busy on the road, touring the country, connecting with fans. Boyd's latest stop was Barnes & Noble in Tribeca.
I personally feel like I have to just make space. Create an environment that is conducive to creativity.
ITM literally caught up with Boyd a few minutes before his Tribeca book signing. Here we are in the mix with Brandon Boyd, and thank you for having us today. We're here at Barnes & Noble, downtown in Tribeca. You've got 200 people outside waiting to talk to you, to ask you questions, to experience these two wonderful pieces of art that came from your heart and soul.
I'm stoked you guys are here.
I love how you have your tag autographed.
Yeah, oh, it's coming off. Dang. Oh, I'm going to put it right here. I don't want to necessarily be like Starbucks boy when I go up there.
Hundreds of die-hard fans were waiting outside his private room.
No matter what, I knew like I had to be here and meet this man.
Yeah, it was a no-brainer. Once I found out he was going to be in New York City, I had to.
It was amazing, and I related to it big time.
So where's your autograph? Show us, show it off.
I have also been a fan since I was 12 years old, so that's like 12 years now.
It was just a complete dream come true.
ITM busted in on Boyd, who was practicing a rare pre-signing ritual called sipping pirate bucks. Feel free to drink Starbucks. We're really...
It's not Starbucks, actually. It's Pirate Bucks.
That's one of his own creations.
I'm drinking booty.
Another rare pre-signing ritual, doodling. Did you just draw that today?
Yeah. You know, I'm a compulsive doodle bug. Sometimes the doodles just will go a little bit longer.
It's no surprise the LA born and bred artist is a lifelong doodle bug. His latest book, So the Echo, is made up of artwork, experimental illustrations, personal photos, journal entries. The book is ultimately a very personal collection of Boyd's hybrid doodles. Were you a doodle bug as a kid? Did you used to sit there in class and doodle?
I did all that stuff. I don't know where it started exactly, but there were lots of opportunities for me to doodle when I was young. And so I took them, and my parents encouraged it as well. They would do things, and my mom played this game, and I actually still play it when I'm out to dinner with my friends, but we used to call it the scribble game. And you just draw a scribble and then pass it to your right, and give them the pen or the pencil, and you gotta make a picture out of it.
I like that.
Because as it turns out, it's actually a really healthy right brain exercise. Helps develop the right hemisphere of your brain.
I like that. I think you're developed. Hence your latest LP. Pretty cool. A beautiful.
How cool is
cover.
it they're making CDs oversized now? Isn't that neat?
Seriously, it's like a huge CD.
Yeah.
Son of the Sea, which you decided to release at the same time you're releasing a book as well. And tell me, the book, the LP at the same time, how did that happen?
They kind of occurred in a roundabout way at the same time, which is why I wanted to make them available around the same time. This record I wrote with Brendan O'Brien, a longtime friend of mine. He produced the past 3 Incubus records. It was just sort of the coalescing of about 6 or 8 months worth of us just getting in a studio and putting our heads together, and we had no real agenda behind it. We just wanted to see what happened, to work together in a different way. And we were both thrilled with the way that it turned out, so we decided to actually share it, you know? And it's always an interesting moment when you decide that something is worth sharing.
Because you're proud of it.
Yeah, a little bit. I think we were stoked on the way that it turned out, and we had a really good time doing it.
So the book literally is, in addition to some other artwork books that you have done, what inspired So the Echo?
I had a moment to compile 5 years worth of travel journals, photography, paintings,
doodles,
watercolor and ink, all kinds of stuff. And so I just, while I was making this record, I just was, if I wasn't in the mood to actively work on a song, I would sort of shift into the other gear. That's sort of always been my goal, is to create an atmosphere that was conducive to muse showing up.
Why your own label this time around, and the book as well? You published the book as well.
Yes. I've always published my own books, but I just finished out a 17-year record contract with Epic Records, with Incubus. So it was an opportunity to take a break from the traditional sort of record industry and try something new. So I'm just put it out under Avow Records, and we'll see what happens. So
doing your own thing, how does that feel, creating something that you don't have the studio there every step of the way or any step of the way? Right. It's been expensive and scary, but really fun and very revelatory. The industry has changed almost completely since I first started making albums and putting out albums. But I'm excited by the ways that it's changing. BrandonBoyd.me, make sure you go and check out his album, his book. Thanks so much for letting us come by to your book signing today. So you're gonna go and autograph a bunch of books, right? Yeah. So guys, if you can see, we're standing here with Brandon Boyd in Barnes & Noble, which is so exciting. He's got hundreds of fans around. If you guys log on to inthemixshow.com, you'll have a chance to play some In the Mix trivia and win this autographed CD and poster from Brandon. Log on to inthemixshow.com to participate and potentially win some of these exclusive autographed Brandon Boyd items. Inthemixshow.com to participate. Still to come on this festive In the Mix Halloween episode at Ripley's Believe It or Not in Times Square. We go one-on-one with In the Mix's Artist of the Week, Queen V. Don't move. We'll be right back.
In the mix.
Just point.
With nowhere left
Just move.
to turn.
Just share.
You saw me
As you naturally would.
and showed me
Just point.
how much I still
Just move.
have to learn.
Just share.
And the odds
Smart. Inspired by you. LG Cinema 3D Smart TV.
This episode of In the Mix is presented by LG. Life's good.
In the mix.
Welcome back to this Halloween episode of In the Mix, coming at you from Ripley's Believe It or Not in Times Square. I'm your host, Gina Jordan, dressed up as Queen of the Dam just for you to help inspire you to get into the Halloween spirit today. Now, if you haven't dressed up, go put on a costume and come on down to Ripley's in New York. They're open till 1 a.m. with live performances.
We are going to have fire breathing, sword swallowing, needle eating, and the human blockhead all out here at the same time.
Now, I may be Queen of the Damned for a day, but there's one queen that hails all the way from New York City that deserves your full attention. That's right, we're about to go one-on-one with her right here in Ripley's. But before we do, we're going to give you a little backstory on In the Mix's Artist of the Week, Queen V. For the past decade, there's a raven-haired warrior who's been at battle in the land of rock and roll. The New York City native singer-songwriter has performed live on the road, opening for Bon Jovi, Twisted Sister, and Billy Idol. Proving to the world, one show at a time, that Queen V can rock better than the best of them. The Queen recently collaborated with Tom Morello of Rage Against the Machine and Lemmy from Motorhead to create her latest masterpiece, The Decade of Queen V. Now it's time to roll out the red carpet. All right, guys, all hail for the real Queen V. Put your hands together for Queen V in the house. That's right, Queen V.
Thank you.
In the house at Ripley's Believe It or Not. Thank you so much for making it here on our makeshift set today.
Oh, thank you for having me. This is unbelievable.
Isn't it cool? It's freaky. We're in the middle of the torture chamber here at Ripley's Believe It or Not with Queen V.
Now, of course, channeling the Black Swan Queen tonight.
Yeah, I love it, by the way. What are you doing for Halloween tonight?
I'm going to go and, of course, open my door to trick-or-treaters first.
Where did Queen V get the name Queen V?
When I was starting out, I wanted to have a name that kind of reflected, you know, that feeling of self-empowerment that I get when I play guitar or when I write songs.
How would you describe your sound to a new fan who isn't familiar with your music?
I would say that it's rock and roll. I mean, plain and simple. Some of it's really hard driving, of course some of it's ballads, but it has those, you know, tried and true old school rock and roll values.
You have had the pleasure of opening for some pretty big names, Bon Jovi,
Yeah.
Twisted Sister. How did those kind of collaborations come about?
All kinds of random situations, really. The Twisted Sister shows, much like the Billy Idol show, was basically word of mouth. Their management or somebody in the band heard of us, and you know they got a hold of our first little EP, and they really liked it and asked if we wanted to do a show, which turned into a couple more shows, which turned into like a dozen shows. So, been really, really fortunate that way, especially. Those shows happened in the early days, you know, so it was like my first big shows, you know, outside of like a local hometown audience. It was pretty memorable.
Very cool.
Yeah.
Bon Jovi, I mean, opening for Bon Jovi must
Bon
have been...
Jovi, we actually won a Battle of the Bands, believe it or not, like a contest on XM radio. I got to open at the Meadowlands. Of course, you know, being from New York and New Jersey, being a Jets fan, you know, I saw my first concerts there. It was just pretty amazing to play in that in that space. It was definitely surreal.
Wow, fantastic.
Yeah, we actually won another Battle of the Bands to play at the Uproar Festival this summer, which, you know, the big rock festival. So we got to play at Jones Beach in August with, you know, opening up for like Alice in Chains.
Tell us about the decade of Queen V.
The album really tells a story of this crazy journey I've been on for the last 10 years, more than 10 years. The decade is really the decade to come now that we launched this album over the summer, but it's really, again, just about everything I've experienced in the last 10 years since we put up these songs. Every song is like a stop on the way. A lot of memorable moments, a lot of ups and downs. But I also wanted to be able to hand, you know, one CD or recommend like one album download to somebody who's new to us, you know, as we tour and as we, you know, reach out new fans, you know, meet people like yourself to say, here, this is what we're about. This is a good place to start. That's what my music is.
You have a group of fans here in the mix. In fact, the track "Cry Your Eyes Out," we were all jamming to it. It's a great song. How did you come up with the hook "Cry Your Eyes Out"?
"Cry Your Eyes Out" was really written at a time where we're trying to show really a brave face in the midst of all this kind of chaos and criticism that, you know, a lot of times being a woman in rock that people have for you. So it's really about strength and persevering.
Who did inspire you when it came to just getting into music in general?
Certainly seeing Joan Jett when I was a little kid and seeing, you know, her do it, I thought, oh, I can do it too, you know, which is the great thing about having other female role models. But I'd say, you know, bands like Queen and Led Zeppelin were as much of an inspiration as, you know, she was, or Pat Benatar, Chrissie Hynde, or any of those women.
What exactly was the struggle in the business for you up and coming and performing in New York City?
I think being in New York City was a great thing for me because of all the different people and places you can play and all the experiences I had, and especially being, you know, from here. But the thing is that being a woman in rock, I'd been told every single reason why I couldn't do it, why it wouldn't work, nobody would listen. Now things are, of course, better and more developed, you know, decades later, but I think there's still a little bit of that resistance that people just haven't seen it very much, so they're just not used to it. But then when they come to the show or they, you know, listen to the album, then they get it. And so I think we've made some progress there.
You recently performed at a CBGB festival.
Yes.
Tell us about that festival.
CBGB, the legendary rock club. If you've never heard of it, Google it, look it up. Many great bands came out of there. Talking Heads, the Ramones, Living Colour, Blondie, Iggy Pop. I mean, the list goes on and on. But I had the chance to play there many times before it closed. Used to have my own nights there. And they have this great festival now annually with like 100 different venues and all these different bands. And it was a great night of, you know, female performers, really strong energy. So, and you know, it was a packed house. So it was great to be part of that little bit of history again.
When it comes to being on the road, any good stories, anything memorable over the years that you can share with us?
Yeah, you know, one of my first tours, actually the first tour that we had on the West Coast, we were playing the Viper Room. Tom Morello and Lemmy were in the audience and happened to catch the show and liked us, became fast friends, and that's how the collaboration on the album ended up coming about, because they caught that show all those years ago.
You support Iraq and Afghanistan Veterans of America, which is a fantastic organization. Tell us how you got involved and how you support them.
Well, IAVA is an organization that not only supports veterans when they come home by giving them a community and a network to correspond for each other, support each other, but they also get things done on Capitol Hill. They're not affiliated with any political party, but they've really made a difference in getting the country talking about veterans. I felt like it was the little bit I could do to give back to them by putting on concerts for them. They all come in free to my shows, and we actually just shot another video, the Right or Wrong video, which has a veterans theme and just showing a little bit of the human toll that war can take.
Fantastic. All right, guys, the album is The Decade of Queen V. Log on to queenv.com for everything Queen V and to find out where she's going to be performing up and coming. I want to give a very special thanks to Queen V for being here today, guys. Give it up. And a special thanks to all of our guests who appeared on In the Mix. And of course, a special thanks to Ripley's, believe it or not. Log on to ripley's.com. Make sure that you guys put your costumes on, get festive, and you can even come to Ripley's tonight here in New York or at the other 34 locations worldwide. That's going to do it for this special episode of In the Mix. Queen V, woo! Thanks so much for watching, and we'll see you next time in the Mix. Yeah! This week's ITM Celebrity Selfie Shot is brought to you by LG. Life's good. selfie shot. So don't touch the
say
side.
what?
Don't touch the side. Selfie, like you're taking a photo of yourself.
Well, aren't you supposed to have a mirror on your shoes? So never mind.
One of the best parts about being in the mix on the red carpet is the celebrity selfie shot this season. And thanks to our trusty two-way video record LG phone, I'm covered.
In the mix.